Warning, Caffeinated Conquest features adult nerds using adult language. Seriously, don't say we didn't warn you.
If you have celiac disease, that's completely different. But if you claim gluten intolerance without getting a doctor's note, I don't believe you.
All right, so let's talk about last session. Last session, Jeremy McNeil came back to the mansion, beat up with some guy's stolen clothes. When Louis Fortier found out about this, a plan was conceived to gather the Primogen of the Camarilla and talk about this injustice that has been performed against the Anarchs. For finally, the Draconian Prince of Los Angeles has struck undeservingly against an innocent who is only seeking justice. However, that's not the most interesting thing that happened last session, is it? Our dear friend Murphy Fierro had the blood hunt placed square on that ass. And not only that, but managed to have Byrick Ash's Diablerie of Joaquin Murrieta pinned on him. So McNeil called in a favor from Nines Rodriguez to have him basically protected until such and such dies down or he can get out of Dodge or what needs to happen. So, Byrick and Mark Zantz managed to meet with Victor Armitage, the Malkavian Primogen, who did agree to meet with Louis. Right now, you two and Betty are in the sewers trying to find Sally to get in touch with the Nosferatu Primogen. Byrick Ash and Mark are on their way to Griffith Park, known werewolf territory, where the Gangrel Primogen has been rumored to lair. Also, upon watching some of our old footage, I did in fact state that there was a Bruja Primogen, and I also stated that he was Diablerized, so that guy.
Byrick.
Huh?
And Murphy Fierro is with Nines Rodriguez looking for Smack. And that is where we join our fair coterie in Verona. Let's have the individual teams give me a initiative roll, just so we can keep this civilized.
You think we're fucking civilized here?
Well,
Your cans explode.
This is not going to be
Would you like me to roll separately? Well, of course, separately.
well. Just whoever has the highest initiative in the team.
What's yours?
I got a 14 block.
Well, what's your
initiative modifier.
+4.
plus 5? It's what's Dex, right?
Yes.
Indeed.
I got 12.
I got a 14.
Okay. I'll just tell you. Everybody roll. Fuck it. I'll take the higher one.
17.
No.
Under 10, so you're... Is that 19?
I got a 15.
All right. So it's gonna go Jibril's group in the sewers.
Yeah.
Then it's going to go Mark Zantz's group at Griffith Park.
I don't trust this park.
And then finally, Murphy Fierro and Nines Rodriguez. So you guys are in the sewers, and I guess this applies to you right now because you're controlling Betty. You guys are in the sewers. You were just lured into a trap by a filthy, fucking disgusting Nagaraja that you diablerized, and for some reason the filth of the sewer is just getting to you now. The close, claustrophobic, disgusting nature of your surroundings is just starting to twitch you a little bit, but you soldier on and press it down. But in the back of your mind, just all those mantras of cleanliness they touch with the Zoroastrian temple are roaring. You found on a necromantic altar a bunch of leather-bound books that taught you different rituals, and we did go over what those rituals were. So, for the audience, would you like to tell them what rituals you learned from those books?
I got Call of the Hungry Dead, Insight, Hand of Glory, and Pin of the Dark. Dank, rather. Dank.
Pin of the Dank.
Pin of the Dank, yeah.
I'm not. I think
Are
it's
you
supposed
sure
to be
it's dark?
Din of the Dark, but
Din? Yeah. Yeah, Din of the...
Din of the Dank.
Din of the...
Dang.
I made my own one, yeah. I wrote it down wrong, yeah, but it's it is Den of the Damned. There we go.
Danker damn. The Batch of the Down.
Okay, so that's a thing. So now what are you guys going to do to try to find Sally? You have no idea where the Nosferatu Warren is. The sewers just seem to extend in all directions in the darkness forever.
Is the room still completely dark, or is it lit up at all?
Well, the guy flicked on the light,
Okay.
and you saw all the
Zombies?
eaten fucking corpses against the walls.
I kind of want to burn these bodies.
You want to burn them?
They're waterlogged, but yeah, you can try.
You're not supposed to make fires, boss.
Like, I don't think we're.
We're not supposed to look at fires.
I think Betty would like to roll an investigation to see if she can try and help navigate this maze.
Okay.
She would like to probably see if there's any markings on the
Sally's
wall,
over
any
here.
numbers, anything like that.
Sure, okay. Let's go ahead and give me intelligence investigation, unless you'd like to use wits or perception instead.
I will go.
We just explain to me how you're doing this. If she's going to actively look, let's call that intelligence.
Okay. Intelligence investigation. She's gonna pretty much search the walls for any like kind of maybe marks that they may leave for themselves to know where they're going around.
The Nosferatu?
Yeah.
Now, how would Betty recognize that? She knows less about Kindred Society than Murphy does.
I don't know. Like,
But the Nagaraj is a lizard person, and she knows lizards need to keep warm. So where would the lizard go to keep warm?
boilers.
See, one of two things are going to happen. We're going to
That
fight
does
an
mean like Snake King, doesn't it? I never thought of that.
Well, I guess that's a toughy one right there.
I'll tell you what, put the dice down. I will tell you that there is lots of direction on the walls that would apply to the sewer workers.
Okay.
Like access A, access B, Hollywood Boulevard, whatever.
All right.
That sort of direct. But how would Betty use that knowledge? How does that help her? How does that help her find these vampires? I don't even think she's seen a Nosferatu yet. Betty probably doesn't even know what she's looking for.
She totally held her own though. She was like, "What bitches, bam bam."
Oh, she's on the ground.
She doesn't take anything. No. I think just checking to see if maybe they mark anything on their own maps, just to make sure that whoever came in that was allowed it and made it past the point of those zombies would actually be able to figure out where they're going.
You don't see anything on the walls that look deliberate.
Okay. Excellent.
What about the rest of you guys? You have any ideas?
I'm going to heal first.
You're gonna heal?
Alright.
Do like you have animal kin now, correct? Or animal,
Animalism.
animalism? There, you go,
Oh.
yeah. Can you talk to a rat and maybe?
I
find
haven't
out this
actually
more?
put in the XP for that, I hope.
Do you have more speed?
I know how it works theoretically, but to put it into action, I have yet to figure that out.
Now that would be an excellent idea,
If we
using
had-
animalism, but
we don't have it yet.
Betty?
Betty didn't use her XP for that.
Yeah.
have you been giving Betty XP?
Yeah, she's up to 12 right now.
If you want, I will allow her to spend 10 XP right now to get the first out of animalism. Because it is
Betty, your people. They can talk to animals.
Really? Let me give it a try. That was an expensive point. Let me tell you.
She's drunk right now.
She's drunk!
I got.
I'm surprised she didn't inherit like arsonist as her clan weakness. For
Set things on fire.
all that Murphy's not even addicted to heroin. It's been running cars into buildings all along.
That's his vice.
property destruction.
Random acts of violence.
No, it's Grand Theft Auto into property destruction.
So the first out of animalism is Feral Whispers. That doesn't let you deliver a command, but you can talk to animals. And yes, you do hear the squeaking and chittering of rats, sort of running around and splashing in the darkness.
All right, then I will use I believe a blood point is needed.
That
to
was a good idea. Your nature is loner, and you told somebody else what to do. I can't award you for that.
No. But I'm
Oh,
intellectual.
your demeanor is intellectual. That means you pretend to be intellectual.
Okay.
If
Like, I'm kind of smart.
I still want to reward you for that. Yeah, basically. High five, Adam. Good job.
Her blood pumps through her body and focuses on understanding this animal. And she speaks out into the darkness towards the chitters.
What does she say?
She says,
Habla inglés. Oh man.
Can you hear me?
Splash, splash, splash. This little tiny black rat the size of a small dog comes like bounding through the water.
Holy shit!
Rat.
That's Biggie Cheese.
Oh, looks like a tiny fucking cat.
You can speak to us?
Well, apparently I
It comes
can.
up and like starts sniffing at her pant leg.
This is getting kind of creepy. Hey, do you know about these guys that I point around to the bodies? You seen them down here before?
The dead bodies? Guy that lives over there. He brings them down every once in a while.
Where does he come from?
Up there.
Up where? Up on top of the surface or still inside the sewers?
Does anybody want to correct Betty the fact that the Nagaraja is not one of those for Nosferatu?
Oh, we don't know what she's saying.
I think we can understand her. She's like one
Squeak, squeak.
squeaky squeak. Make squeaker squeak.
Yes, Emperor's New Groove.
I'll step close, but not too close. That's a fucking disgusting rat.
It's a big fucker.
I'll be like,
What is it, a muskrat?
Betty, these things are not Nosferatu.
You mean they don't live down here? Okay,
They probably do. That's not one of them.
sure thing. I turn to the rat.
They're much uglier.
And say, you think you could lead us to where he went up? I'll give you a crack or something. Maybe I got some cheese in my pocket. I don't know.
Some cheese.
Cheese? Let me see it.
Are you gonna revert to Fieroisms and smack the rat? Look at the fucking cheese when you earned it.
I'll give you alcohol instead, bitches.
Oh, yeah, I got intimidation.
You're gonna intimidate the rat.
Just so he knows, just to tell him that I'll show you it when we get there. First take us there, then you get your prize.
All right, roll intimidation.
Just intimidation?
Are rats like
He's not even
cats?
gonna get the damn cheese.
Manipulation?
Which has, are cats like rats? Are rats like cats when the World of Darkness where they're just like OP?
No. You're gonna get.
Let's see how hard Bob fucks this up.
Oh, no. What do I roll it with?
It's a were rat.
Manipulation.
Yeah, manipulation, intimidation.
Successes across the board.
Oh, okay, Jesus, lady, fuck. Yes.
But this rat knows who Jesus is.
You wanna the rat equivalent.
He also knows what cheese is.
Jesus.
So you want to know where the guy that lives here comes down to the sewers from? That's what you're asking me, right?
Yes.
All right. He sort of splash, 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 scampers around the corner.
Never see it again.
Follow me, guys.
That's one of two things is gonna happen. We're gonna find the Nosferatu, or we're gonna kill more Nagaraja.
Betty motions over to her compatriots. Come on, guys. The little rat told me where to go.
Okay.
So as you follow the rat sort of stands expectantly in front of a ladder that leads up to a manhole, and he says, "This is how the guy gets down here. Now give me the cheese."
You know what? I left it back in that other room.
What? That's not what you said.
You lie.
The rat will remember this.
The rat will remember this.
That rat probably belongs to Flanagan.
Little did you know, that rat was a gangrel.
I can't lose humanity for killing animals, can
Just gonna fucking.
Your humanity isn't high enough for that.
I? Sweet. I pull out my revolver.
Peter
and blow
wasn't
the
a
rat
thing
away.
yet. Oh my god!
Like, just look down the barrel, rat. It's
This is terrible, I know, but I don't have any cheese, and I feel you're gonna attack me now. Look,
Just here's your cheese, you rat bitch.
wait.
I'm gonna make you a Swiss.
I got a friend that'll feed you all day long as you help him out. Perhaps you want to come with us.
Why?
He'll feed you all day long.
Who's your friend?
He just likes little animals.
Aww.
I don't know if I can trust you.
You want the food or not?
Who's your friend? Tell me more about the situation that I feel comfortable with.
He's my friend. His name could be Spaghetti.
Does Betty care enough to bring him rats?
He loves animals. Well,
Betty, I think Betty actively hates Fiora.
Sense motive to see if she's lying.
Does Betty actually hate Fiora?
Probably.
I should roleplay that more. Okay.
My
I feel
friend.
like an asshole for lying to this rat since it's able to talk to me, but
Just turn off animalism. You can't talk to it anymore.
if I just turn it off, I'm like, what? I don't understand.
No,
What?
no, yes.
Okay.
You know what? Fuck it. And I just tell the rat to go fuck itself. And I climb the ladder.
It curses at you in rat and scampers back off.
Rat knees.
Fuck you too!
I truly fear has taught you well.
At least I didn't kill her. Fuck.
The rest gonna become stronger now.
I tell my buddies, come on up. Perhaps Jabril should be up here.
I do want to get out of the sewer.
You know,
But we haven't completed our mission.
Now, I'll just climb up and poke out.
As you poke out,
Where am I?
you are just outside the Hollywood Cemetery.
Like, what's up there, guys?
What would get the Nosferatu's attention? A masquerade breach. I'll have Murphy with me though.
But you have his childhood.
You have his apprentice.
So while you guys are considering this, we're going to go to Mark Zance's group. So, is there any preparations you would like to make before heading to Griffith Park?
I am loading my gun and having my sword at the ready.
Okay.
My guns are always loaded. And at the ready.
Even after every shot.
I'm also turning my aspects on. Trying to keep my senses ready for the scent of wolf or homeless people.
So you auspex your nose?
Can I do that?
Yeah,
I don't,
it's any one of your senses.
you know what? I don't know if that's rules as written, but I'll allow it. Just like, so the world goes gray, your hearing is like that of a 70-year-old, but you can smell into next week. Dirty hobo, broken sewage. LA is a playground. Yeah.
Fire.
This isn't New York. Why is it on fire?
Are you bringing Virginia with you?
No, she's supposed to be.
I will tell you that having her run into a werewolf is a surefire way to get rid of fucking Victim of the Masquerade.
No, I'll keep her safe at the
But
house.
what if she passes her willpower and just rationalizes it?
I don't think that's part of the flaw.
Like, they just told me a movie here.
And I don't think ghouls are. Oh, I don't think ghouls are susceptible to delirium. I don't think it affects supernaturals. And a ghoul technically is mortal plus.
More human than human? No, she's staying safely at home where she's being trained by the nice French woman at 48's house.
Okay.
But I'm bringing Virginia.
So you guys roll up to Griffith Park, and the big thing about Griffith Park is that it has this cable car that sort of runs down from the, I guess, the entrance or the lower area to the park, way up this mountain to an observatory. And we're, just for the sake of argument, we're going to say that existed in the 40s, so I don't feel like looking it up.
An observatory?
I mean,
They've been around for a while.
the specific Griffith Park observatory cable car, that kind of thing. So you pull into the parking lot, and this big, lush, green, verdant land extends before you, and you can see this monolithic rise coming up from the earth.
there anything I would know about Gangrel themselves that would give me some hint as to where she might make her haven in the park?
Let's go with Intelligence Occult. And I'm going to call this one difficulty 8.
I'm assuming my problem solver does not apply to this.
Because this is a goal that you're pursuing, I will say yes.
Okay.
So your 10s will count as an additional success.
That's a lot of 10s. That is 2, 4, 6, 7 successes.
7. Ooh. Yes, you dated a gangrel once.
What?
He was just curious.
I wanted to learn more about vampiric society once I told my sire to shove off.
So I tell you what. I will give you a point in the... Because that's an amazing fucking roll. Like, 5 is out of this world. You got a 7. If you can rationalize for me, like, give it a backstory, how you have this much information, I will give you a dot of gangrel lore. So if you ever need information on the gangrel again, I can just... pow right there.
I'm going to go ahead and say that the reason Mark Zantz knows so much about the gangrel, because in coming to LA on his own, he decided that he was going to have to be able to suffice as well as possible as he could by himself without relying on Louis or the rest of the Camarilla. So he made an initiative to learn as much about the other vampiric clans as he could, having been sheltered by his sire and the other Ventru. And the gangrel seems sort of the polar opposite of the Ventru, being a more self-reliant sort of vampire. So the sort of philosophy that goes into a mind like that appeals to him.
Okay, yeah, I'll allow it. Take a dot of gangrel lore in one of your blank backgrounds. And so you would know all about the gangrel's discipline of protean. And that's exactly what makes this difficult. A gangrel with sufficiently advanced protean could sink into the earth wherever the hell they wanted.
And I'm assuming the Primogen would likely have such a level of ability.
Oh, yeah. You also know that they would be able to take on an animal form. So, for all you know, you could be looking for an animal habitat. She could just be buried in any random spot in the ground. Or sometimes the gangrel do like to construct a haven for themselves, some sort of shelter. However, also think about the fact that this is a public park where mortals are going to go to, and mortal authorities aren't going to just let go a hobo shack up in a tree somewhere.
Is the observatory open to everybody?
Yes.
So you can go to the observatory and look down at the rest of the park?
I think it's mostly for up there, but yes, it would give you a very good view. And again, the observatory is only accessible by that cable car that goes back and forth.
So I'm going to turn to Mr. Byrakash. My suggestion is we make it to the observatory, try to find what seems least likely of an area within the park to attract attention and make our way there. Unless you have a more hunter's instinct about this than I do.
No, I don't know enough about gangrel. But if the observatory only has one way in and out, then should we run into an ambush, we'll be trapped.
How big is the cart?
It's pretty sizable. I'm trying to find a way to... I'm trying to find a way to describe it, and the only thing I can think of is, remember Shimonetta?
Ah, yes.
It's fairly sizable, can fit a couple of people.
Okay. If we get ambushed while on the trolley, I think it's small enough that we can shove off anybody who tries to get in.
Very well.
Alright, I guess we're getting on the trolley or making our way to the observatory.
Okay. So you sort of get on the cable car, flip the switch, and the trolley rocks ever so slightly in the night wind. It almost sets this tone of unsettling, like anything could happen. And you realize to yourself as you look around at the stunning, even though cloaked in darkness, the stunning nature, the tall spires of trees, something that you don't get in the dirty, grimy, artificial LA proper. You realize that you are sinking deeper and deeper into the heart of werewolf territory.
I'm gonna switch my auspex to my eyes and see if... Not
And
only
I should
there's...
point out that Would Mark... Well, you're friends with Gangrel, so yeah, you know exactly what wolf smells like. It smells like wolf all over this park. The scent intensifies as the trolley goes.
Wolf piss.
It smells like wolf piss out here. I'm going to try to sort of keep my eyes open now with Auspex to see if anything sort of sticks out as we're making our way up the observatory.
Absolutely.
We should certainly be wary now. The scent of wolf is becoming ever more increasing.
Lovely.
Have you ever tasted werewolf, Mr. Byrakash?
I've had a few cocktails in my day.
Perhaps I may have the chance to make the taste myself. You know anything about subduing them?
I've dabbled here and there.
Yes.
So says my bloodline book.
So finally,
I retroactively know how to.
with a ka-chunk, the cable car reaches the top of the plateau. You can see the Griffith Park Observatory sort of standing there, telescope extended to the heavens. It is closed currently, but it doesn't mean you couldn't get in. It also doesn't necessarily mean that you would need to, because you are in the highest spot in the park and you could basically see wherever you wanted. I mean, you would have to traverse a ways because it's not a tiny plateau. You'd have to walk for a bit, but you could basically get a bird's eye view of the park from here.
Should we stick together and make a round around the plateau? It would not be wise for us to be caught separated by werewolves.
Do you wish to have alone time?
Not in particular.
Very well then.
Will I do?
Enthusiastic walks.
I'm Byrakash and I are...
Wow. Oh, that's a lovely mental image. The two most powerful vampires in the coterie just skipping, and you left the woman at home for a moonlight walk in the park.
It's like the 1940s.
As you guys are walking, you walk quite a ways. And your eyes instantly catch this sort of rustling in the brush. And this figure steps out. She doesn't look quite solid. It's clearly a female figure, but she moves like a blur. Like if you just smudged Vaseline over the part of the lens that's recording her. She moves forward, not moving particularly fast, mind you, but your eyes just can't seem to track her as she moves forward and she stops. She very clearly sees you, and she's leaning on what appears to be a crudely made spear. Darker skin, maybe of some sort of Hispanic descent, wearing BDU pants that are far too big for her and a wife beater. And she sort of looks from you to you and says, "Well, I thought this only happened on the radio, but looks like the thieves have returned to the scene of the crime."
I resent the fact that you find me of a multinational ethnicity that you assume I'm a thief.
There's another rustle in the brush.
You could be a round nose.
And there's another... You can't quite place the ethnicity of this one. He's definitely darker inflected. He's got very long hair over a dirty trench coat. And he just sort of eyes you warily. And he leans over to the woman and says, "I can't get a read on Rockefeller, but the one over there stinks like a chemical waste dump." And she says, "So Nightwind's necklace wasn't enough for you. You thought you'd come back and filch a few more fetishes for some easy targets."
Do I know what a fetish is, other than the obvious sexual connotation? I'm not sure if he talked about anything when he came.
With your dot of Gangrel lore, you do know that the Gangrel talk to werewolves every once in a while, and that's probably how the Primogen is able to make a haven in the middle of werewolf country. I'll give you another intelligence occult roll for it.
You might get another dog.
Would that guy be able to read my aura? I have deceptive aura mirror.
Maybe that's why you come off.
Again, I don't think sense worm is an aura reading. We talked about this once because you also have deceptive aura, and I think it's more like a Bing radar kind of thing.
Well,
4
so what's your
successes.
humanity? Yeah, go fuck yourself.
4 successes.
Yes.
Well, yeah, you do know that a fetish is basically a werewolf magic item.
You are implying that I have stolen something from your wolf pack? I'm not sure the terminology you all use.
That's a wolf piss to you.
It's a wolf Roomba?
Not mine, an elder of the sept. Did you not know who you were grabbing it from before you murdered him?
I didn't
Did
grab
you not
anything.
care?
You are making a lot of assumptions, I'm assuming, because of our particular bent in the supernatural world.
Are you gonna try to talk to these werewolves?
She turns to the guy and says, "What do you think, Steve?" Steve looks up and down and says, "Well, let's see. When the other pack attacked the beach house, they said there were 2 leeches there of undeterminable ethnicity who both escaped. Now we have 2 leeches of undeterminable ethnicity here, deep in werewolf country, where none of their kind ever venture."
I don't think that's completely true, I say, interrupting him.
And one of them has more worm on him than... Well,
I took a shower this morning night.
This twilight.
I don't quite see any reason to parley with them. What do you think, Wormbreaker? And in the moonlight, this big 9-foot shadow appears before you. And we go to Murphy Fierro.
I imagine Nines is driving us.
You guys have stopped. Nines
He doesn't trust you to drive.
Nines has led you in, like, basically through this network of dirty alleyways, which you're totally comfortable. Or are you? This looks. I mean, you've done a lot of back work here.
I'm a dirty alley type of cat.
This either reminds you of where you get your smack, or reminds you of all the dead people with holes gored in their neck that you found. So I will let you tell me how Murphy Fierro.
Murphy Fierro.
He's just having a good time.
He's very comfortable in this situation. He likes the grimy trenches of L.A. I assume we are looking for smack right now, so I am following Nines to his dealer. Giddy with anticipation, as I have not had a fix in a day.
Nines will tell you vehemently that he himself does not have a dealer. He just knows a guy that sells it.
Is he like us?
Nines will say, no, he's a human.
All right. Now, recently I found out that we're not really supposed to expose ourselves to humans, so I should really keep that under low profile, or this is one of these kinds of people that know about vampires.
You should definitely keep that under a low profile. Once you get your smack, we're going to have a nice long talk, you and I.
Aye, aye, Captain. Show me the way.
As you get closer to the area where Nines says to meet this gentleman, you hear what sounds like maybe a small boy about 8 years old say, "Oh, come on, mister, you can't do any better than that." And an adult voice says, "Sorry, kid, 50 cents. Best I'm gonna do." As you turn the corner, you see a stereotypical small boy in the 40s, little, like, one of these hats, very shabbily dressed. He's got on this jacket that looks like at one point it was very nice, maybe like a nice suede, but it's since fallen into disrepair. It's torn in places, it's wrinkled, it's cracked. He's got this bag of shit in one hand, and he's standing before this adult that just reeks of sleaze as he's, like, twirling this gold bracelet in his hands. Like, he looks like he might be some kind of small-time fence or something. Like, this is obviously some sort of illegal activities going down. What would Murphy like to do at this point? By the way, this kid doesn't look like he's had a bath in at least a week or two.
Aye.
Hey, kid, fuck off.
Approach with Nines. What the fuck is going on here?
I would like you to roll percentiles with me.
Hit a cap.
75.
75. He does not recognize you as a member of law enforcement.
Excellent.
He sort of throws 2 quarters at the kid and says, "You selling too?"
Nah, I'm actually looking to buy.
Oh, the other kind of customer.
Yo, kid, scamper along. We don't need you around here.
Nines goes up to the kid. You can see him reach in his pocket and hand him a 10. Here, kid, go home. Take care of your sister. What are you looking for? Coke? Weed? Wacky tobacco?
That smack. You got it?
Ah, you want the hard stuff.
You know it.
I got it. Question is, can you handle it?
Can I handle it?
I shot myself today.
And then got shot again.
Yeah, let me see what you got.
Breach the Masquerade. Breach the Masquerade.
I want to so bad.
Like, if this was like a game with like dialogue options, Murphy's dialogue, like the last one, is always like Masquerade breach.
Pretend to get high with them, then drain it.
His weakness,
Renegade.
his clan weakness is actually masquerade breaching.
It says, "Tell you what, new customer special. First one's always free." And he gives you the most perfect fucking rock of black, like the blackest black tar heroin. Like fucking Coke soup, just pitch black. Like that mixed with road tar. Black.
That's
If you were mortal,
disgusting.
you would die.
I think the blacker it is, the worse it is.
Hey, Bob, you can't say that on camera.
I'm sure you've seen Pulp Fiction. That guy pulls out like 3 baggies, and none of them are black. They're all like powdered and yellow and brown, whatever. But the point is, all right, damn. And does he hand me a nice like like a baggie?
Yeah, it's one of those little those little baggies that they sell that are obviously like drug bags, but you can't say that because it'll kick you out of the store.
Yes. For free. Oh, well, thank you very much.
Oh, don't worry, you'll be back.
I don't doubt that.
It's extremely addictive.
Can I get your name? Maybe a card?
I don't carry a card.
You know what the fuck I
he looks
mean.
at Nine. Is he a cop? And Nine just sort of.
Are you?
I told him you were cool.
Any way I can get in contact with you? Or you just hang around these spots pretty often.
He says, "You can call me Ace.
All right.
I'll be on this corner usually about this time, about this day of the week. It's not me. It might be someone else. His name is also Ace."
All right.
But it's a dog.
They're all aces.
He has a secret identity.
Call the natural dog.
Excellent.
What?
He's a gangrel.
Oh, I get it.
He's a bat hound.
I turn to 9s and I toss it up in the air once and catch it. All right, now we gotta get this in me.
Fortitude!
Oh no, the baggie burst.
It does nothing. I just wasted it.
Can't dig it out.
Oh, to be a vampire.
Alright, Nines. I'm now in need a spoon.
Nine says, "I just helped you get the fucking thing. Now you're on your own for getting it in you.
All right, are we going to some sort of hideout?
We're going to a motel.
Yeah, they probably.
By the way, you might want to keep that low around here.
Right.
My advice to you, speak like a Nosferatu is hanging over your shoulder. Because you just might be. And he's saying this as you have gotten a decent distance from Ace, of course.
What the fuck is a Nosferatu?
Wow. Are you fucking serious?
Like in real life, or?
No.
Okay.
Nine, your sire really didn't bother with you.
I met my sire once, and then found out he was dead.
You're basically clanless.
Yeah. You could have been a caitiff.
Not smart enough.
You don't choose to be a caitiff, Bob.
But you didn't choose to be a vampire either.
Speak with your chest.
Nosferatu are the prince's eyes and ears, and they're everywhere. They deal in information, and there's nothing that they can't get. You think you locked your doors? There's a Nosferatu inside. You think you've shut your blinds? They're staring through the peephole. They probably planted a camera somewhere in your house, and you'll never see it. So
During that time, that's really inefficient.
It's like right underneath like the lamp.
No, it would have to be one of those big reels.
oh, whatever. You know what I mean.
It's like, how did he know I did this?
Flashbacks. It's like, oh yeah, I was there the whole time.
Oh shit. They follow us around, do they? I've been trying to figure out how they've been catching me at every fucking corner. Every time I make a call, it seems like they already know.
And it couldn't be all those fires I started with my name signed on them.
I didn't sign my name anywhere!
According to the prince, you did.
Idiot.
I had nothing to do with that.
I mean,
I don't think I know about this at all.
the Nosferatu saw it.
This is true. They saw it. It must be true. In any case, yeah, I'll pick up a stray animal on the way. Let's head over to that motel.
Alright, so as you're driving back, he sort of says to you, I like to let people come to their own conclusions, so I'm not going to try to indoctrinate you into my politics, but whatever side you choose, the most important rule is the masquerade. You do not reveal yourself to anybody. There's a very practical reason for this. You're a vampire, you're a badass, that's great. There's things out there that are a lot worse than you. Werewolves will tell you to shreds. Witch hunters will light you on fire. None of that is particularly fun, and you don't want an entire legion of humanity ganging up on you because you will lose that fight.
Fucking what? That shit's fucked up. What the? Werewolves?
That's ridiculous.
Like in those flicks you see on the big screen.
You mean like vampires? Werewolves, mummies, ghosts. They're all real and they're all out there.
What do you know about mummies?
Maybe.
At that point, he's just thinking it has to be. They're real.
I
And like everything else I said sounded pretty damn ridiculous.
I mean, museums are a thing. I'm pretty sure he lived through the discovery of Tutankhamun.
Mummies are real. Yes.
Wouldn't Hines Rodriguez know that? I think so.
What do you know about mummies coming back and fighting evil?
I don't know if he knows that's how they work.
That's a heavy pill to swallow. But don't they always cover their tracks anyways?
Who?
I'm not saying I covered my tracks very well when I did any of these things, but I don't believe I left behind anything that would suggest the vampire was there.
Really? I heard you embrace somebody in the middle of the street.
Alright. That may have been a faux pas. Damn. I don't mean to throw everyone under the bus with my actions. I don't know what to tell you. All I know is I'm in pretty fucking deep, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna get out of this shit.